Hello to all the viewers. So in this video, we'll be moving forward and understanding the dispute that was in reference to my particular moot court competition. So this dispute is actually very interesting. Just to give you a heads up, it will help you to understand the problem much better. It's from a real life situation, a real life problem, a real life crisis that actually happened in the international geopolitical situation. If you have heard of the South China Sea dispute, you'll be able to understand this problem way better. So I would really recommend you guys to just give the actual dispute of the South China Sea dispute before trying to understand the dispute. And not just specific to my problem, my mood court problem, it can happen a lot of times when we are dealing with some international issue or international mood court competition, or maybe a criminal mood court competition. A lot of times your problem can actually be based on a real life uh, case that might have occurred. So it's always good to have an understanding of the real case and how the judges dealt with it before you move on to actually breaking down the mood court problem for your understanding. Moving on, we'll be understanding कि dispute में actually हुआ क्या था. I'll give you a very brief about the entire dispute. We'll quickly go through the entire draft, obviously. So the San Island is claimed by Philippines and Kima इस डेट पे April 8 2012. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि इसके पहले वाले वीडियो में लोग देखा था कि कैसे पुराने हिस्टोरिकल टेक्स्ट और एक्सरसाइजेस के थ्रू बोथ द कंट्रीज कीमा एंड अदर कंट्रीज आर ट्राइंग टू एक्सरसाइज देयर अथॉरिटी ओवर द साउथ कीमा सी. ये जो एक्चुअल डिस्प्यूट है, इट्स नॉट बिटवीन यूनाइटेड प्रोविंस एंड Kima. This is not where it starts. It starts with Philippines. As you can see, Philippines is a nation जो साउथ चाइना सी के साथ फिलीपींस अपनी टेरिटरी शेयर करता है. तो यहाँ पर obviously they can't use real names of the countries because then it would become controversial. So they use hypothetical names without changing a lot about it. सो फिलीपींस की जो नेवी वेसल थी, they spotted 8 Kimis military vessels इन दी वाटर ऑफ द आइलैंड. कौन सा आइलैंड, किसका वाटर? सैन आइलैंड, जिसको फिलीपींस और कीमा दोनों क्लेम कर रही थी इस डेट पे. In response to this, Philippines government requested the Kimis government to vacate the island territorial waters, but Kima refused to do so as they claim the San Island in their own territory. Kima, as we all understand, has always been claiming Sinai Island and everything that is around the South Kima Sea as their own. तो इसके लिए उन्होंने आवाज फिलीपींस ने आवाज उठाने की कोशिश करी, बट दे डिड नॉट लिसन. फर्दर दे डिमांडेड फिलीपीन अथॉरिटीज टू वेकेट द आइलैंड विद इन 7 days और बी सब्जेक्टेड टू ट्रेसपास ऑन कीमीज टेरिटरी. इनफैक्ट जब फिलीपींस ने कीमा से बोला कि तुम मेरी जगह से जाओ, उल्टा कीमा फिलीपीन से कहता है कि यू आर इन आर टेरिटरी एंड इफ यू डोंट पुश बैक, इफ यू डोंट स्टेप बैक, we will have to take some action against you. Um, this was the first threat that Kima put forward toward Philippines. This you can really structure it in a way to use this in your arguments while you're framing it from the side of the appellants, that is the United Province. अगेन एज वील अंडरस्टैंड कि स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट्स में मैंने भी अपने मूड कोर्ट कंपटीशन के मेमोरियल को ड्राफ्ट करते समय स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट्स में ये चीज़ों पे काफ़ी एम्फेसिस दिया हुआ है. अभी इट्स नॉट इम्पॉर्टेंट टू रीड ऑल ऑफ दिस. इफ़ यू वांट यू कैन ऑब्वियसली टेक अ स्क्रीनशॉट फॉर योर बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, बट वील गो बैक एंड अंडरस्टैंड कि फिलीपींस एक वीक नेशन था एज कम्पेयर टू कीमा. एंड so Kima, Philippines ने क्या करा? They turned to United Province, which is obviously the flag bearer of democracy and equality around the world. जैसा हम लोग ने पिछले वीडियो में समझा था, and asked them to interfere in this matter. In response to which United Province condemned Kima's action in Sand Island but failed to do any materialistic help to Philippines. कुछ actually कर नहीं पाया United Province. Disappointed by United Province, Philippines realized that it had no alternative but to start negotiations with Kima. They did not want to, तो फिलीपींस ने समझा कि कुछ नहीं से तो कुछ बेहतर, इसलिए दे स्टार्टेड entering into negotiations with Kima. Obviously, Kima being a superior, military-wise and economically superior country, Philippines did not found it feasible to start a fight or war or maybe any sort of adversarial adversarial settlement. So they went for negotiations. जिसमें हुआ क्या कि कीमा ने कहा कि सैन आइलैंड के ऊपर कंट्रोल तो उनका ही रहेगा, बट दे वोंट मिलिटराइज द आइलैंड. ऑल्सो दे प्रॉमिस्ड कि आप वो कीमा फिलीपींस के ऊपर मिलियंस ऑफ डॉलर्स का इन्वेस्टमेंट करेगा. So this was looked at as really really bad from the public of the Philippines, and they saw this deal as the government sold out Kima and the government was overthrown, and the new government filed a case in the permanent court of arbitration, which ruled that Kima had no sovereignty in the South Kima Sea. Again, this case went to the permanent court of arbitration. South कीमा और फिलीपींस के बीच में जो अग्रीमेंट हुआ था उससे कुछ वो साइन तो हो गया, लेकिन लोगों ने इतना इशू क्रिएट कर दिया कि गवर्नमेंट ही ओवरथ्रो हो गई, गवर्नमेंट ही निकाल दी गई पावर से. एंड दिस डिसीजन वाज रिजेक्टेड बाय द कीमीज गवर्नमेंट. परमानेंट कोर्ट ऑफ आर्बिट्रेशन ने जो भी रूल करा, अगेन साउथ कीमा गवर्नमेंट ने उसको रिजेक्ट कर दिया, बिकॉज एक्सट्रीमिस्ट आइडियोलॉजीज एंड considering them superior than even permanent court of arbitration, which is one of the highest judicial bodies internationally. So this again you can use while you're drafting your memorial from the appellant's defendant's point of view. This can really really help you while you are doing that. And I would really suggest you to make sure कि आप लोग अपने स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट्स को उसी तरीके से फ्रेम करें जिसके लिए आप स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट्स बना रहे हैं. जैसे कि ये डिफेंडेंट का स्टेटमेंट ऑफ फैक्ट है, तो यहाँ पर मैंने सारे पॉइंट्स वही मेंशन करे जो डिफेंडेंट के फेवर में है, कि कैसे साउथ कीमा हैज ऑलवेज बिन द कंट्री historically, and even now they're constantly fighting for their exercising their power to claim South Kima as their own. Again, moving on, the unacceptability of the Permanent Court of Arbitration's decision by South Kima infuriated the international community. They received a lot of condemnation from around the world. Their rejection to accept the decision was seen as violation of international laws by many countries. United Province condemned South Kima's action as well, and committed to open Indo-Pacific sea route and help the parties being or oppressed by South Kima to retain their sovereignty. United Province again came up as the hero, and they took up this fight against Kima. They said कि चलो South Kima Sea तो you have claimed, but we will exercise our authority and help everyone to have the Indo-Pacific sea route still open, which again is under South Kima's territory. As for the claim, तो इस पे भी एक डिस्प्यूट अब आगे आप देखेंगे. द साउथ कीमा सी इज अ रीजन ऑफ ट्रिमेंडस इकोनॉमिक इंपॉर्टेंस. इस पूरे पैराग्राफ में समझाया है कि कैसे साउथ कीमा सी के पास साउथ कीमा सी में नेचुरल रिवर्स हैं. इट्स सच एन इम्पॉर्टेंट पासवे फॉर ट्रेड and import export for everything. In fact 3 ट्रिलियन यूनाइटेड प्रोविंस डॉलर्स की वर्थ है वहाँ पर से जो बिजनेस हो रहा है. ह्यूज ऑयल एंड नेचुरल गैस रिजर्व्स बिलीव टू लाई beneath the sea. It also contains lucrative fisheries which are crucial for food security of the millions in the Southeast Asia. जैसे कि आप यहाँ से देख सकते हैं, साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में ये जो कंट्रीज हैं, दीज आर नॉट वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग सो इनके इनके लिए लड़ने के लिए इन यहाँ साउथ की चाइना सी से इनको हमेशा से बहुत ज़्यादा सप्लाई मिलती जा रही है. So if South China Sea is blocked and China is claiming the entire portion, their economy will fall down, because this is the only way that they can connect with other countries for everything that they require. Because no country is self sufficient. They will obviously need some other countries help for some of the other natural resources, or it can be anything, modern technology, etc., etc., and everything is being transferred mostly through sea. क्योंकि heavy चीजें for example, a lot of heavy vehicles, cars which are manufactured in China will have to be transported to these countries through sea only. It's not possible to do everything by airplane. Again, hence all the neighboring countries, etc., etc., claim a portion of Kima Sea to be in their territory as per the 200 nautical mile rule. 200 nautical mile rule is very, very, very important in this entire dispute. 200 nautical mile rule होता क्या है? यूएन क्लॉज के अंदर आर्टिकल 56 में मेंशन करा गया है कि जो भी कंट्री का कोस्टल रीजन है, जो भी कंट्री की कोस्ट लाइन है, उससे 200 नॉटिकल माइल्स, विच इज अराउंड 307 किलोमीटर्स, वो वो खुद क्लेम कर सकते हैं. दे विल एक्सरसाइज देयर सॉवरेनिटी, फुल सॉवरेनिटी. दे विल एक्सप्लोर that entire sea region, that is even their exclusive economic zone, conserve that region and exploit the resources, be it animal, fisheries, oil, etc., etc., anything. They can claim it entirely theirs. Owing to this importance of South Kima Sea and being one of the world's busiest waterway, it is vital for United Province for their passage to remain open and not fall under the communist regime of Kima. So as I explained कि कितना important है वो region. Hence, United Province with its allies such as Japan, Australia, Indiana, etc., conducts freedom of navigation exercise in the South China Sea. So if you'll read the actual South China Sea का dispute, you will understand कि इस fight में against South China, other countries like China, Japan, in fact, India has also helped uh, countries to in the fight against the extremist and communist regime of China. Uh, on 16 January 2021, UPS Berkeley, Arleigh सो अगर आप प्रॉब्लम नहीं हो इसलिए मैं आपको बता देता हूँ. यूनाइटेड प्रोविंस का ही एक क्लास डिस्ट्रॉयर है. इट्स बेसिकली अ मिलिट्री वेसल. उसका ये लोग एक एक्सरसाइज करा रहे हैं बिटवीन हैनान, कीमा एंड अनान आइलैंड्स, सम ऑफ द आइलैंड्स दैट माइट बी टेरिटोरी जियोग्राफिकली इन बिटवीन. उसके बीच में ऑन इट्स वे टू वियतनाम, वेयर इट इनकाउंटर्ड कीमीज नेवी पेट्रोल बूट्स. ये यहाँ पर से फिलीपींस का यहाँ कहीं हो रहा होगा और ये वियतनाम जा रहा था. ये पूरा रीजन साउथ चाइना क्लेम करता है, तो यहीं कहीं डिस्प्यूट हो रहा है, यहाँ की बात हो रही है. वाई एम टेलिंग शोइंग यू दिस पिक्चर सो दैट यू विल बी एबल टू understand and connect with the actual problem really, really well. And you can always talk about these and show it to the judges while you are arguing in your moot court competition with obviously hiding all these names, because it's not allowed to take names of any of the countries. Warning the UPS class destroyer to vacate. Yeah, so we were here. वियतनाम की तरफ जा रहा था और कीमीज की पेट्रोल नेवी, पेट्रोल नेवी आ गई. पेट्रोल नेवी होती क्या है? they Patrolling is basically, you know people with authority, for example police, army, they just randomly go around places to check कि कुछ problem नहीं हो रही. This happens in borders also, this happens in seas also, this happens in air also. In fact cities के बीच में police भी करती रहती है. That's called patrolling. Kimi's Navy gave a warning to the UPS destroyer to vacate the territorial waters of Kima, but the destroyer ignored the warning. Kimi's Navy again reattempted to encourage the destroyer to vacate the territorial waters, but they ignored it again as well. Uh, यूपीएस यूनाइटेड प्रोविंस का जो क्लास डिस्ट्रॉयर था, दे वर वेरी फर्म with their approach कि we will not vacate this area, we will send a message out to everyone कि you are not superior than everyone else, we also have an authority. 2 घंटे तक ये बहस चली और उसके बाद कीमा अपनी क्लास डिस्ट्रॉयर ले आया और एक फाइनल वार्निंग दी कि अगर आपने सरेंडर नहीं करा तो ये एक बहुत ही फुल ब्लोन वॉर, मतलब बेसिकली यू नो दे वर सो एग्रेसिव कि ये इट कुड हैव बीन अ फुल ब्लोन वॉर. So United Province, as you know, somewhere or the other, being the flag bearer, it's not always okay to show violence. So they, what did they do? They surrendered in order to not escalate the matter to a full blown war. Why am I adding these statements while am I explaining you this entire scenario? Why am I telling you कि United Province एक flag bearer था democracy, peace, sovereignty का, whereas Kima was extremist, but then Kima was also constantly fighting for their rights, so that you can use, you can, you know, build a perspective, you can flesh out ideas while you are wherever you are reading a mood problem, or you know, be it any case you'll be dealing with as actual lawyers in the future. Moving on, the Khimis Navy arrested the provincial sailors under the charge of trespass in Khimis territory. With this is very very important. You know, really focus on it. Without valid transport and visa, and they are being tried as foreigners but not alien enemies. They are being tried as foreigners but not alien enemies. Please focus on this, because ये भी एक बहुत बड़ा इशू है पूरी मूड कोर्ट प्रॉब्लम में. जहाँ, क्योंकि होता क्या है, जिस टेरिटरी में आप पाए जाते हो आपके ऊपर उस लैंड का जुरिस्डिक्शन होता है और उसी लैंड के लॉज लगते हैं. यू नो, सो अगर आप, फॉर एग्जांपल मैं पाकिस्तान में पाया गया हूँ, तो पाकिस्तान के जुरिस्डिक्शन के हिसाब से, पाकिस्तान के लॉज के हिसाब से आई विल बी you know, charged, and I will be the entire prosecution, the entire judicial system that will be applicable upon my all the accusations that are upon me will be Pakistan ke laws, and vice versa, India, be it China, anywhere. United Province demanded that Kima release its sailors as well as the UPS destroyer to the custody of United Province, but Kima stood firm in the decision to try United Province military man in Kimi's domestic court, as they were found in Kimi's territory, hence under Kimi's jurisdiction. As I told you, Kima was mean कि उनको नहीं छोड़ना है उनके sailors को, United Province के sailors को, and they will try them in their domestic court. Again, moving on, कीमा का मानना ये था, कीमा की इंटेंशन ये थी कि अगर उन्होंने यूनाइटेड प्रोविंस के सेलर्स को अपने लैंड पे कन्विक्ट करा अपने लॉस के हिसाब से, तो ये एक इंटरनेशनली मैसेज देगा, एक बहुत स्ट्रांग मैसेज देगा कि अगर तुम साउथ कीमा सी में पैर रखने की हिम्मत रख करते हो, तो दिस इज, these are what the repercussions going to be. So you are going to face really brutal actions from us. uh, जैसा यहाँ लिखा हुआ है, as well as allies respect Kimi's sovereignty in the South Kima Sea, as well as deter other nations from conducting military exercise near their coastline. Like, no one dare touch my coastline. This is what Kima is trying to tell everyone. Kima viewed their actions as an act of self-defense and against the abusive powers of the West, whereas United Province and its allies viewed to arrest of United Province sailors as breach of Geneva Convention, as well as hindrance of freedom of navigation in the South Kima Sea. Geneva Convention is very important. यहाँ पे वेस्ट, पावर्स ऑफ द वेस्ट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, क्योंकि कई बार ऐसा कहा जाता है कि सारी जो वेस्टर्न पावर्स है वो गैंग अप करके छोटी कंट्रीज पे बहुत अग्रेसिवली टेक ओवर करने की कोशिश करती है, उनका टेरिटरी, उनका इकोनॉमी, उनका बिजनेस, बीट एनीथिंग, दे ट्राई टू इन्फ्लुएंस देयर पीपल इन सम वे और द अदर. सो दिस इज समथिंग, वन एस्पेक्ट दैट यू कैन यूज, पावर ऑफ द वेस्ट. जिनीवा कन्वेंशन जिसके सिग्नेटरी ऑब्वियसली ये सब लोग हैं, उसके क्लॉजेस यू कैन ऑलवेज स्पेकुलेट, which we'll be obviously dealing with while I'll take you through the memorial. So जिनेवा कन्वेंशन में ये सेटलमेंट रहा है कि जो भी ऐसी छोटी मोटी प्रॉब्लम्स हैं, they can be settled internally, and you know, you don't have to escalate the matter to a level that it becomes an international issue, you know, obviously to maintain peace and human rights. But obviously Kima does not seem to understand. They just think कि वेस्टर्न पावर्स उनको सप्रेस करने की कोशिश कर रही है, उनकी टेरिटरी लेना चाहती हैं. Through negotiations, both the core countries have agreed to take this matter to the International Court of Justice and agreed to abide by ruling of granted by the court. This is what you are going to argue. This is the entire statement of facts that you are going to present and speculate upon, argue upon, and build your case upon. और ये आप कर लड़ेंगे इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस में. हाउ इंटरेस्टिंग दिस इज, राइट? हाउ engaging this is. If you look at it, it's a great opportunity for you to spread your horizons and think out of the box. So issues, moving on to the issues इन लोगों ने खुद दिए हुए हैं. So these are the three issues. Most of them I've already covered while I was explaining you the problem, but we'll just quickly go through it. Whether the South Kima Sea falls under territorial jurisdiction of Kima. This is the answer. This is the question that you will have to fight for or against. Did South Kima Sea fall under the territorial jurisdiction of Kima? We'll find out. Depends completely on the judge, but you will frame as strong as arguments as you can. Whether United Province warship violated South Kima's sovereignty, we'll find out. Whether the arrest of United Province sailors by South Kimi's Navy is legal, and are the charges of trespass maintainable. This is very very critical. जैसा मैंने आपको बताया, इस थर्ड इशू में बहुत सारे लॉज फ्रेम में आएंगे. इंटरनेशनली क्या होता है अगर आप किसी के, क्योंकि देयर इज दिस इकोनॉमिक जोन एंड उसके आगे देयर इज दिस कॉमन एरिया सारी कंट्रीज का होता है, एंड इट्स ऑल ऑब्वियसली ओवरलैपिंग, क्योंकि सारी कंट्रीज कहीं ना कहीं कोस्ट लाइन क्लेम कर रही होती हैं, तो वो ओवरलैप जरूर होता है. और अगर उस पॉइंट पे कहीं किसी को अरेस्ट करा गया तो किसका जुरिस्डिक्शन लगेगा. दिस इज वेरी वेरी क्रिटिकल. दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस टू अंडरस्टैंड. Although they have asked us to not limit our issues to just this, you can obviously add or subtract or maybe expand on any of these issues they have already mentioned. And the laws and the convention are to be presumed pari material to the laws governed by ICJ. पारी मटेरियल होता क्या है, मतलब आईसीजी में जो भी लॉ, आईसीजे में जो भी लॉज एप्लीकेबल है, इंटरनेशनल कोर्ट ऑफ जस्टिस में जो भी लॉज एप्लीकेबल हैं, दोज आर द सेम लॉज दैट यूल बी अप्लाइंग इन योर मूड कोर्ट प्रॉब्लम. जस्ट टू गिव यू अ बेटर अंडरस्टैंडिंग, यहाँ अगर आप देखेंगे तो दीज आर द लॉज दैट आई हैव रेफर्ड टू. Sorry, just quickly go through this. These are the laws that I have referred to. These are the these are the issues. These are the cases that we discussed. United UN का, just a second, ये सारे लॉज आईसीजे में इंटरनेशनली एप्लीकेबल हैं, तो दिस इज समथिंग दैट कैन ऑलवेज अप्लाई. दिस इज व्हाट आई मेंट बाय पारी मटेरियल टू आईसीजे. UN clause, United Nations Convention of Law of Seas, Convention of Territorial Sea and Contagious Zone, Convention on High Seas, Vienna Convention on the Law of Treaties, United Nations Convention of Jurisdictional Immunities of States and their Property. These were the few laws. Okay, so I think this is sufficient for the video. In the next video, we'll actually be starting to understand. I'll try to walk you guys through how should you go about step by step while you start drafting your moot court memorials. Thank you.